Hello, everybody. Hello, salespeople, marketing experts, RevOps geeks, AI enthusiasts, everyone. We are here to write a new playbook, the Individualization Playbook. So I was at SaaStr last week, and I must say, no, I need to clear my mind around everything, but one thing and one theme was true, expressed at many different levels and ways, and it's go AI or go home. It's here. It's changing how we think about sales, marketing, RevOps. For the past week or two, I started hearing, AI ops, for example. So if, as Yamini, the CEO of HubSpot, said on stage as SaaStr, if you don't feel like you are a kid in a candy shop, which means super excited and just want to try it out, try everything out, play around, you should start doing that yesterday, not tomorrow, because this is the only way how you can really understand the power of it and how you can get better at it, how you can adapt, and really leverage the power that we all now have. I wanted to start today with just a clear example of how many messages are still pretty wrong, and how unfortunately a lot of companies still use the automation in the wrong way. I got a connection request, a blank one, accepted, and then today in the morning, a week after SaaStr started, I got a question. Hey, Clement, are you going to SaaStr? It was last week, not this week. I won't respond, of course. And it's a huge missed opportunity. Don't just set the automation and then leave it as this. Yes, do automate stuff when it makes sense, but make sure you're on top of it. Navigate the system, navigate through everything, help AI help you. Another really interesting point, which I wanted to emphasize from SaaStr, which also was Yami talking about, is look at AI agents, new employees, super smart interns who needs to be onboarded, like you onboard every employee. If you don't provide a context, if a new employee doesn't know what to do, what is the context of a task, what's the goal, it won't be able, the new person won't be able to do a good job, no matter how smart they are. So you need to provide the guardrails, the instructions, the insights, the starting points. And the same goes for AI. When you're prompting, when you're developing systems, optimizing the processes with AI, keep in mind and make sure you provide the right and as extensive as possible context, so then the AI can really work and help for you. Another great point that I heard often during SaaStr, which goes back to the individualization playbook, is emails need to stop being only personalized, but they need to be personal and, more importantly, relevant. I had a really interesting discussion yesterday with one of the HubSpot users, going through our system, how we help write fully individualized emails. And when I said we help write personalized messages, the question was, do you help write relevant messages or personalized? Because personalized is also if I reach out to you and say, hey, I've seen you complete the PhD back in 2020, or I saw you were with Scouts for 5 years. All that is personalized, but is highly irrelevant to the reason why you probably reach out to me, and why maybe you want to connect, why you're sending me an email, and so forth. So AI agents, systems are now here to really help you deeply understand someone's job. For example, what I did today, following up with one of the exhibitors at SaaStr I talked to, and we're planning to catch up to just go through our system in more detail. Luckily, they've raised a funding round last week. So I went to the press release, copy the text of a press release, put it into ChatGPT, and ask to help me understand where they're going, what are their goals, how do they want to position, and then I use that information, reaching out to one of the executives there, to mention how I believe we can help them achieve those goals, how they want to do the go to market, and why a conversation with me would be relevant for where they are now and where they want to be by the end of their funding round, so they can raise further. So keep in mind, use AI to help you do a lot of research, help you write relevant, not only personalized messages, and now is definitely possible. So don't settle for okay-ish or fully automated for the sake of optimizing what you do, but rather double down on the quality. Even from a different angle, focus on conversion, focus on the quality of communication way more than on the volume. So think of how to be relevant, how to understand someone, the one you're reaching out to, so you can make the connection, so you can get to the next live discussion via Zoom, at a conference, wherever you manage to meet one-on-one. And then this is where you kind of build on top of what you already communicated via email, LinkedIn, or other channels. Build the real human connection, and then from there on, you keep the conversation going through online channels. Another kind of theme that stays with my mind around how to better do the outreach, what's the new playbook for communication, is in a way a winning combination for a company for the next year or years to come with all the AI and everything. It needs to be trust, transparency, brand. Don't focus and double down on volume of pure numbers game. The old outbound playbook from even a year or 2 years ago, it doesn't work anymore. Build brand. LinkedIn is a great place to do it. You can just post, you can comment, you can engage on someone's post, you can join podcasts, webinars, you can host ones. Build your own brand. In the first place, your personal brand. So then when you talk to someone, they kind of have the feeling of credibility from your side. Then with video, you can get to the point where kind of they know you, but you don't necessarily know them. Build trust through the content, through data you have, through talking about your customers, success stories, and be transparent how you help them, what you do internally. I'm a firm believer in transparency at so many levels. Even building in public, that some companies are really mastering it. That helps a lot. Everyone else is in the first seat of how you're building a company, how you're helping others, so they can relate to that. And even when it's not always up, sometimes it goes down. Keep the momentum, keep talking, keep communicating. We're all humans. We're all up and down, probably every day. So this is how you build, again, trust and a brand, and then the communication will be much, much, much easier. Jason, the host of SaaStr, talked a lot about, hey, now with AI, you need to be faster. You need to talk more with people. You need to be faster. You need to be better. You need to work twice as hard as you did now, because if you're not, others leveraging AI and leveraging all the power and tech now available will just bypass you, and then you're gone. So be curious, try to be enthusiastic about AI. Think how you can improve it for better communication, for better research of people that you are trying to help with, you're communicating with, and really leverage what you can. Don't be afraid. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, but AI is here to help us, and it's here to stay. What really stays in my mind from SaaStr, which is one of the biggest SaaS AI events in California, or even probably worldwide. It's really AI is here. AI transformed already how companies think about. Some companies are even letting people off when it seems they're not able to adapt and adjust to the new era of AI. These are my observations from SaaStr. And if anything that I can deliver from my notes of SaaStr, it's really play around, leverage AI, use it as much as possible. Before I wrap up for today, those one-on-one sessions, I think I can keep it short and sweet. Next week, I'll have Luke from Contrast joining me for discussion, talking about webinars and how the best companies are doing webinars these days, how to leverage, how to leverage webinar as a channel of building again trust and brand. So we might have a bit longer discussion, but for today, the last part I want to talk about is I talked with over 40 HubSpot users in SaaStr, and during that event, it kind of became clear to me that even companies that are cutting edge and are exhibiting at SaaStr, most of them are still communicating to contacts in their HubSpot portal with templated messages. Someone signing up for a free trial, someone just downloading a white paper or a brochure, or someone requesting a demo. What you typically get is a templated message. No matter how big your company is, no matter what seniority you are, what function do you have at that company, you would always get a pretty similar hey first name and then a templated message, which I believe is outdated. And with tech now available and with all AI and everything, you can do a much better job of that. For example, with one of our users, we're now helping them convert 3 trial users to a paid subscription. And with our approach, they see the increase from 1% goal conversion rate of a workflow in HubSpot to 3.5% goal conversion rate. That's that can be huge if you have thousands of contacts signing up for your trial. I mean, that's a significant increase. And the only thing we're doing there is using AI in the right way to do account research, contact research, try to understand who is who, how the call to action can be changed based on the seniority, the level within the company, the job position. We are trying to adapt also based on the size of a company. The call to action, with smaller companies, they're trying to just push them to a paid subscription on their website. With bigger companies, sales reps are happy to talk with them. We are then even tweaking which links, which resources are delivered in the emails to each and everyone based on who they are. C-level executive with does resonate with different type of content. Maybe a webinar or a white paper is more fitted for someone like a top level management, where if you're reaching out to an SDR, maybe a blog post with tactical insights, how they can leverage the tech you're building on top of, can be super helpful. So keep in mind, you want to be relevant for the recipient. You need to write fully individualized emails, LinkedIn connections, messages on LinkedIn. Every message you send, every email you send is an opportunity to build trust, emphasize your brand, show that you care, show that you are a human connecting to a human, build a relationship, and the business, the revenue will follow. So thank you for joining me for today. Happy to chat in the comments, in DMs. Let me know. I'm always here. If you feel you're doing and sending template messages, and you can do a better job by writing individualized emails to your contacts coming to your Hubs portal, let me know. Happy to walk you through our system. And yeah, until next time. Next week, as I said, Luke from Contrast is joining me. We'll talk about webinars, how to do it in the right way, and how even post-webinar you can use what you know about someone's interest because they attended the webinar and how they engaged with the webinar, and further better communicate and convert into more relevant and meaningful business conversations. Take care and see you next week.